Welcome to Hikamori Days, a show recorded from a room that hasn't changed since, America had a different president, maybe 70 years inside. That's not a lifestyle, that's a subscription plan you forgot to uh, cancel. Some people call it a solution, so we call it free shipping on every emotion. And now broadcasting live from a desk. That has seemed more instant noodle than human interaction. This is Hikomori Days. I had a problem this morning. The recording time was shorter than before. I tried to find the reason. At first, I thought something was wrong. I kept thinking about different possibility, like maybe the intro was shorter. Then I realized I did not finish recording. It takes time to figure that out. So it was a rough morning. After I had to make cover art and think about the show again. Maybe I had changed a little, but I still focus on strange details and that cause problems. From my past experience, when I noticed that and try to act like a normal person, things get even worse. No matter what I choose, the result feels the same. I feel jealous of people who can look back and say they grew. I cannot think like that, and I feel like I do not really improve. I used to think I should do everything by myself, but I know I'm not good at everything. So I thought it might be okay to rely on other reader. But with my podcast, it is about expressing myself. So I started to wonder if relying on something else is really right. I'm not sure. Maybe I should not force myself to do things I'm bad at. But I don't know if that balance is correct. I also think that things like hobbies are supposed to be for enjoyment, but if I get stressed about and recording or managing schedules, it feels pointless. Enjoyment does not last long anyway. So I sometimes wonder what the point is. I support idols, but I don't I don't always focus on what they say. If I'm interested in someone, I can listen carefully, but if not, it doesn't stay in my mind. I also remembered that I got a phone before my exam result in the past, and I was really happy. But during my shut-in period, getting a phone would a phone wouldn't have made me happy because I had no one to contact. Now I use it for recording, but I feel like I'm not using it in a good way. I often compare myself to others. I also remembered that I got a phone before my exam result in the past and I was really happy. But during my shut-in period, getting a phone would not have made me happy because I had no one to contact. Now I use it for recording, but I feel like I'm not using it in a good way. I often compare myself to others and feel jealous, especially of people who worked hard for exams or have good reviews. When I watch TV, I feel like most people think life has meaning, but I think life has no meaning. I still I keep living. And that feels like a contradiction. Because of that, I always think, does this have any meaning? But even if I think that, I cannot find anything better. Since I believe nothing has meaning in the first place, that makes it difficult. I feel like I either try not to do things perfectly or do nothing at all. I cannot stay in between. Today was really bad. Today was really bad. I did not even wanna remember it, but I have to talk about it. I also forget things easily, even things from an hour ago, and it scares me when I cannot remember. My back was itchy, but I couldn't scratch it because I don't like touching things. I even thought about using tools or rubbing against a wall, but I couldn't do it. I also had an argument with my parent. I tried to ask a simple question, but they didn't give a clear answer. I just wanted a simple yes or no, but they kept saying unrelated things. I tried to explain how to answer clearly, but they didn't understand. It felt like they were just talking based on emotion, not trying to solve the problem. In the end, they acted like they were right without giving any clear reason. It felt very frustrating. Later, I ate tofu and tried different way, like now draining the water or not heating it. But I don't even know why I tried that. Even when I think back, I cannot understand my own reason. When I talk on my podcast, I know my way of explaining is unique. I try to make it easy to understand, and I used to feel confident, but now I feel like maybe it is actually hard to understand because it is too different. I am starting to lose confidence. I also try to remember what I wanted to talk about, but I cannot. I, I go through my memories step by step, but nothing comes back. I often feel jealous of people who are busy or working hard, like athletes or idols with full schedules. I also feel jealous of people who get into top schools. If someone gets accepted to two good schools, I think someone gets accepted to two good schools. I think that must be hard to choose. But I also something to envy. I also remember some teachers. Some of them seemed satisfied just being teachers and having a certain lifestyle. It felt strange to me. I was thinking about how some of my old teachers were the worst. I suspect one teacher made the test answers the same every year just to be lazy. They probably he probably didn't even teach much in class, just to keep the test short. I remember some students would get old tests from their older siblings because the question never changed. I really dislike teachers like that. It felt like a waste of tax money. There were a few I liked, but most were frustrating. I often find myself daydreaming about high school. I imagine what it would have been like. It would have been like if I had been more careful uh, cheerful person, someone who could speak their minds clearly but with a bit of humor. I spend so much time stuck in these what if fantasy about the past is frustrating that I can't even imagine anything from my time as a hikikomori. It feels like a total uh, blank space, not a break or a moratorium. I only remember my students' days because during this time at home, every single day is exactly the same. It feels lower than being a slave. I remember small things like when my bike key was taken. I talked to a friend about it, but then I worried that I was accusing them. Or the time a friend shared their lunch with me. I didn't even really need to eat them. I also think about how I didn't have a strength to pedal my bike and took the bus home instead. I regret not looking my teacher in the eye when I talk to them. For the last 10 years, I haven't had new social traumas because I didn't interest with people. But it's frustrating that I have nothing new to talk about my podcast. I wonder what the point is in talking about painful things anyway. I've always had this idea that the brain is like a warehouse with limited space. I used to think I used to think I shouldn't run useless knowledge, while smart kids can memorize uh, dinosaur names and train their brain to learn more. I felt like I should avoid extra information. That's why I feel conflict now when I watch the same idol song over and over or listen to podcasts that don't help me. I also wonder if I should learn something other than English. I don't need English for a job, but I've decided it's okay to follow my curiosity now. Still, I worry if I just more useless knowledge. Recording idols I don't understand. People who wanna support or protect them. They're celebrities. They're far away and don't actually need our protection. I can't imagine them as romantic interested either. If I wanted to support someone or fall in love, wouldn't it make more sense to care about a neighbor or classmate? I don't get I don't get why people choose celebrities for that. I have very strong likes and dislikes. When I watch TV, I feel like I can immediately tell if someone has a good or a bad personality. My sensor for people is very sharp, even with Nogizaka members. I can see who is truly kind, but my feelings are usually different from public. The girls I think are truly good people often aren't as the most popular. I also get stressed just watching YouTube. There's this music YouTuber who talks about Nogizaka. He has over 1 million viewers, but he also had anti haters. He say mean things about the group and the viewers. He are only child just like me, and it feels like he damaging my own reputation by acting that way. Even though I know most people don't group people by whether they have siblings. Today I spent hours practicing the English L and R sound again. I'm worried that my self-taught was taught way is wrong. I tried learning about the dark L, but following the textbook exactly makes me panic and everything falls apart. I'm scared of picking up a bad habit with my movement, tongue movement. I even struggle at the dentist when they tell me where to put my tongue. I feel like I wasted, wasted time and might have messed up my natural progress during dinner. I was terrified that I'd become too conscious of my tongue position again, which makes it hard to taste food. It's like an obsession. Yesterday I noticed my pillow had moved on the bed. This almost never happens, and it really upset me. I had the idea of my feet touching the top part of the bed where my head usually goes. I don't know when it's moved, and it was a shock. For dinner, we had a chicken dish that was like shrimp with chili sauce. It was delicious, even better than the day before. It had onion and tomato sauce, and it tastes like real Chinese food. I also had some sweet potato and carrot stew. I don't buy shrimp often because it's expensive. After dinner, I went back to looking for voice speech apps to help with my pronunciation, even though I knew I was wasting time. Later, I woke up from a very intense dream and found myself crying. It was a complicated dream about my parent being divorced and seeing my late grandmother. But she looked like a different relative in the dream. I felt the emotion of someone seeing their parent after a long time. It made me realize that in real life, I had obviously no emotional attachment to my parent. Realizing that I don't love them made me cry. It felt so sad and tragic. I also feel sad when I see how much my parents had aged. In my heart, time feels dis- distorted for most people. Yes, past that thing change. For me, it feels like I'm stuck repeating the same month over and over. Then suddenly I looked at my parents and realized how old they've become, and I realized I've aged too. It's a terrifying feeling, like no time has passed, yet everything had changed. I also had a dream, like an action movie, where I accidentally took a high-tech phone from a secret agency, and people were breaking into my house to get it. It was a strange new feeling. I wanted to start studying Spanish today to break this cycle, but I'm still obsessed with English L. Someone thought that R is like a dog growing, and L is like a frog stick its tongue out. In Japanese, we say frog goes gero gero, which sound like the sound someone makes when they are about to throw up. It's all very strange. I've been worrying about tofu and soybeans again, and I'm back to obsessing over small details. Like my podcast jingle, cover art, and English pronunciation, I keep wondering if I should just start a different language, like Spanish, especially since it has those rolling R sounds I was curious about. It's a bad habit of mine. I get stuck in these loops of indecision. I also realized I made a mistake for about a year with my podcast genre. I had it under mental health, but it's rarely belong in personal genre. It's hard to change the genre on Spotify now, which is frustrating. When I start researching something like microphones, I go way too deep and run a bunch of unless fact. I wonder why I didn't research English pronunciation with that same intensity before. I have a habit of looking at so many different opinions that my head up spins. I've been so focused on the tree that I missed for the forest. My vision was too narrow. I spent a whole afternoon roping about the red air, and it's honestly made me feel in despair. I couldn't focus on anything else. I had a focus on confusing talk with my parents about the WBC and baseball spring training. I asked them why spring training is so long, and my mom said, because of the WBC this year, but the length of spring training doesn't change every year. If she were a scientist, she'd be a terrible one. We also had a weird conversation about home maguro. I asked if she'd eaten the fatty parts, and she said, no, just home maguro. I tried to explain that home maguro is a type of fish, not the specific cut of meat, but she didn't seem to get it at all. It's like she wasn't even listening. My mind kept wandering into fantasies. I imagine the host of Nagizaka radio show talking about why they stay on the show. Maybe for the memory or stability, or maybe because they are afraid of losing their place. I also get distracted by doubt of hamburgers, but there are so many ingredients in a guacamole burger, fried gratin, garbage, sauce, cheese, tartar sauce, and the bun. Can you even taste all of that? It's probably just about the vibe. I remember my student day playing sports. I got so much advice from different adults that I just got confused. In baseball, I was told I followed the coach too much. It's the same with English now. And there are so many conflicting theories that it's chaotic for someone like me. I saw a video of an idol practicing backflips and another girl running archery from two different coaches, and I felt bad for them. They must be so confused. I'm not good at combining from pieces of advice. I just get overwhelmed by the contradiction. My health hasn't been great lately, and I'm worried about my body. To top it off, the noisy woman next door keeps coming home talking to herself. It's so annoying. I wonder what kind of ritual thinks she's doing. Looking back at yesterday, the dream I had was so intense, even if I didn't physically cry as much I thought. The feeling was real. Realizing I have no emotional attachment to my parent is a heavy doubt. If I weren't human, I'd probably just leave. I only understand they are my parents through logic, not through feeling. For dinner, we had something like fried chicken, simmered in sauce, maybe like chicken chicken namba or Korean cheese fish, Chinese fish. It also had konjac and fried fish cake. It smelled like fried chicken all day, and though I was disappointed at first that it wasn't just plain fried chicken, it was actually really good. We also had a very creamy potato salad that tasted like it had condensed milk or a lot of cream in it. My dad is gonna Sapporo tomorrow for a religious event. There are big idol concert happening there over the next 3 days. So we don't know if he'll be able to get back easily. This is a huge event for someone like me who stays at home, and it's a bit overwhelming. I'm even I'm even worried about when I'll be able to change my clothes. I also doubt about how I used to be so worried about my friends in middle school that I neglected my studies. I had fun with my only real friend, but my grade suffered. I got I got into high school, but I wasn't proud of it. This morning was hectic because my dad left early, which messed up my routine. I wanted to change my podcast genre, and my mom told me it was impossible through the setting. I found an article about what to do if the change don't show up, and when I asked her if if that's what if that's what she saw, she said yes. Then 2 minutes later, she said no. It was so frustrating because she just wasn't listening. In the end, I found out the settings were actually fine. I'm also worried about the English L again. Someone compared R to dog's growl and L to the frog tongue. In Japanese, frog goes gero gero, which sounds like someone throwing up. It's such a weird way to think about it.